Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Great Man Profits for the advanced learners. And today we're going through my strategy of trading. So first of all, you have to understand that this is going to be a very, very easy video to follow. Because realistically, my strategy is pretty simplistic. And the reason I go for that is because the more that you try and overcomplicate things in this world, the more that you are going to run into problems. The more simple or more simplistic that your strategy is, the less likely that you are going to have things that deviate outside of your plan, and therefore you have to make decisions on the fly. That's where you make mistakes. So let's dive into it. First of all, the most important rule that you need to follow. You need to establish a bias. What does this look like? Well, you need to find where price wants to go. And of course, that looks a little bit differently depending on which market you're in and what time frame or your plan looks like. So you need to identify imbalances, first of all. Let's say that price has risen abnormally on one day. You have to expect that a regression to the mean is going to happen. Or analyze, okay, have they had interesting things happen? Has there been an alert on the news? Are you in a severe bullish trend? Are you in a severe bearish trend? And what is the likelihood that that is going to continue? Once you've established where you think that price is going to go, you need to identify the daily and session highs and lows, because 9 times out of 10, these are going to be revisited sometime during the week and mostly add as resistance, a point where price is either going to bounce off or continue through. Then, finally, you need to find all unrecognized or untested fair value gaps. In this world of finance, people are not going to leave money on the table. If there is a chance that there is liquidity that is able to be grabbed, organizations and firms are going to find their way around it to try and accumulate this. Next, you need to identify any news and politics that is surrounded by your chart. In other words, anything that can change the market outside of your plan. And then finally, where I make the most of my money is I chase order blocks. Order blocks are basically that other big firms or insurance companies have come in, they've bought or they have borrowed a huge amount of shares and they plan to make a move in their favor. Do not fight against the trend, because you are not going to win against these bigger fish. So what you need to do is you need to follow them. First of all, either follow down or follow upwards in the trend. You watch it go down. As soon as that you can identify, you jump in and you catch an easy move. And then secondly, target 80% retraces on the bottom of the order block, where of course people will either sell or rebuy the shares that they have borrowed. That is basically the equilibrium. And the reason I say 80% is because that's where it will return to. The only time I tell you to ignore this is if you want price to keep on going, then you stay in.